Listen, we got lots coming on today's show. Let's talk about, of course, the latest goings on at Manchester United. We knew some time ago that Edward was stepping down. We found out today that, of course, it's going to be from the 1st of February. Richard Arnold will be taking over. He's been there 8 years. When you look back at his reign there, will it be one of success? 3 trophies came in. What will be the big headlines, do you think, when he steps down in a few weeks' time?
He's got 3 headlines. Trophies. But when you look at a club like Manchester United, that's not good enough, is it? When you look about where they're coming from, with the trophies that they have won, they've not won the big one. We've not won in the big 2, have they? The Champions League or the Premier League. So I think a lot of Man United fans, well, you'll be one of them, will be happy now that he's reigns over, because all I can remember, certainly the nearest kind of past, is Manchester United fans just absolutely hammering him. Everything that's gone wrong with the football club, down to the signings, to the wrong signings, to the football club, the direction the club's going in. All you've ever heard is Ed Woodward, get him out. So obviously it gives Manchester United a chance to start fresh. Do I see them competing again back at the top of the table anytime soon? I don't, but listen, they've got the resources to. But hopefully this new guy can come in and do a better job.
Jack, do you think it's a good time for Richard Arnold to come in and maybe prove a point? Because as Benty quite rightly said, that a lot of fans will be unhappy with what's happened with Ed Woodward over those last 8 years. So maybe it's a good time for someone fresh to come in with possibly fresh ideas and then make a name for himself.
Well, I think the club is definitely in a better position. Obviously, when Fergie left, he was in charge. When did he leave?
2013.
Yeah, so Ed Woodward would come in there. They were going to have a dip. They did. They're in a better position now. They probably need some fresh eyes on it and a new way of working. But I agree with Benty. Like they need to win the league. Like, you're a United fan, so you could answer that better. Like, do you think he's been a success?
I think it's for you two to answer, really. I'm just the glue that holds it together.
Out of us 3, you're the Manchester United fan.
Yes, I know, but people don't want to hear.
They do. They want to hear what the fans think.
We want to hear.
Fans matter.
Well, we'll speak in one of the breaks, right? But
8 years, and you've won the Europa, the FA Cup and the League Cup.
Yeah.
So for Manchester United Football Club, that's not good enough. Because I remember a time where...
No, of course it's not good enough, you're right, for a club that big.
So, and you look at what Manchester City have done in that same kind of time.
Yeah.
It's not been good enough, and I can understand why the fans' frustration, but as you said, there's a chance for a new man to come in and kind of change the dynamics of the football club.
Okay, what do you make about the reports? I'll stay with you, Benny, for a moment. What do you make of the reports in the paper suggesting there's from 12 up to 17, depending on what newspaper you pick up, players that there's unrest and players that want to leave? What do you make of that? And what sort of players do you think should be either or the club should be looking at to move on?
Well, first and foremost, the grass is not always greener. And I can understand right now, and I said this a couple of days ago, that when you look at some of the Manchester United players, it looks like it's too much weight for them to carry, wearing that Manchester United shirt, obviously from the successful club and the biggest club in the world. They're not handling it very well. So I can understand a lot of players there will be looking, maybe the likes of Martial, maybe potentially. I think even though Phil Jones has just come back, maybe he wants to go and play somewhere else. But I take Martial for an example. He's probably looking at it, right, I've had enough of this. Like, it's not really worked for me. Let me go somewhere else. I can only imagine what it's like though when you drop down from that size club to like a normal size club. It must be difficult to kind of adjust to.
Do you think that's, Jack, one of the reasons why Jesse Lingard hasn't left yet? Because of...
Well, he left last year and experienced that, didn't he? So I think after the year he had last year, or the last 6 months when he was at West Ham, he probably went back thinking he's going to get a chance. He probably deserved a chance. That's probably why he didn't leave. It'd be interesting to see what happens this window. He hasn't played enough. He probably deserves to play. He'll feel he deserved to play with the way they've been playing. But like Benty said, the grass ain't always greener. Like, I had this a few times at Arsenal with players who didn't really want to be there. Like, sometimes you need to sit back and look how lucky you are to be at a big club like that, and the fans, and all right, they're not challenging, but it's still a big club, and teams go there and they're intimidated by that. And to be on that side of the fence rather than going to them places it makes a massive difference.
You talk about the biggest club in the world.
Yeah. And I'm curious as well, as a footballer, when you've been there, Benny, and of course you still are just about for another few weeks, when stuff's happening in the boardroom, does it affect you when you're on the field? Do you think about that or not?
Not really, because as players you kind of just get on with it. Like, again, I've never been at a club that size, do you know what I mean? But when there has been grumblings at whatever club I've been at upstairs, I can remember when there was a lot of commotion at Charlton.
Grumblings?
Grumblings.
Oh, grumblings. It was a new Gremlin film.
There was a lot going on at Charlton.
Yeah.
And then Alan Kirbishley left, and there was a lot of kind of uproar going on upstairs. It's not difficult, but what was going on in the boardroom didn't really affect us. But then when it kind of trickled down to the manager in Alan Kirbishley, then it affected us. Because if you look where Charlton are now, which is... like, then they shouldn't be there. I mean, they're in better times now, Johnny Jackson in charge. But when you look at the club's been since Alan Kirbishley left, it's never been the same.
No.